I'll drink to that. Yeah, yeah.
So raise a glass if you are loud in all the right ways. All the underdogs.
We
We
could
will
never be anything but loud and nitty gritty, dirty little face. Won't you come on and raise your glass? Won't you come on and raise your glass? Just come on and raise your glass.
Your glass.
Come on and raise your glass.
For me.
What's the dealio? That's been another episode.
Welcome back to the Monday Magnets. Caden McDonald, Will Taylor. The D's lost.
Oh.
The Saints got pumped by the Doggies for a second time this year, boys. How we feeling about it?
I'm flat as a pancake. You know,
Just another day at the office. It's great to have another Doggies win under our belt.
We went down to C9 Gelato last night. Got a couple of pancakes with bananas and Nutella.
Did you actually?
Yeah, we did. It was unbelievable. And you said no, we don't want to go.
Oh, you text me at 10:30 at night when we've got a pod in the morning. Do you want to come get ice cream?
There's context to this. We text him on the way. We're going to Yochi. Do you want to come? And he said no.
I'm an afterthought.
To be fair, the Yochi line was fucked.
Yeah, mate. Oh, I've never...
That late on a Sunday?
Mate, no.
It was
no.
buy one, get one free.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right, well, there you go. Well, mate, silly for a Sunday at 10 o'clock. Like, so dumb line.
So there was like 100 people lining up around the corner.
100.
The Yoshi. So we went to C9, got some...
Was there any celebs in the line? There's normally some...
Riley Stray.
Wow.
Yeah.
Darcy Cosgriff.
Yes.
Young DJ Chonkers. He was
Wow.
there.
It was the full brigade.
He was doing stuff.
So there's a couple of notables. But no, we dipped out from Yochi, went down to C9 Gelato, and was so shocked at not only the service but the quality of food. Man, I got pancakes and bananas at 10:30.
That is outrageous.
It's delicious.
Very
good.
A couple of people that need to eat their pancakes and Nutella. The Saints boys. I don't know what happened, but
maybe they're having too many.
Maybe they're having too many
pancakes and Nutella.
Shrove Tuesday was a while ago now, about a month and a half ago. But, geez, the Saints needed their WeetBix because in 7 weeks, the Saints have lost by the Dogs by about 170 points. So
I sound like a broken record, but the Saints are just one of the most what the fuck teams at the moment. Like, I don't know what to think when I watch the St Kilda Football Club play. I sit down and I think, okay, this is going to be a nice competitive game of football, and then they'll blow Melbourne out of the park, but then they'll rock up to Marvel Stadium and shit the bed against the Doggies.
have you got a word that comes to mind?
They leave me... What do they leave me? Perplexed.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm always left scratching my head and thinking, what are we doing?
Yeah, no,
What's
mate,
happening at Moorabbin?
I'm with you, Tails. I'm seriously with you. What about the D's, Doss? Are you feeling... Because you had such a high a couple of weeks ago. You were winning. And now
And then we've lost 2 in the last 3 that I feel like we should win against those sort of teams. And then we lost one against a team that we shouldn't beat, but we're in a position to win. So season's done. It was always going to be gone after 0-5, but I don't know. It's
Don't keep the hope.
No, the hope's gone, but it's hurting the ego a little bit because, and I know we were a basket case for 20 years prior, but when you get 4 years of top 4 finishes and you probably drop 4 or 5 games a year, but you're flogging every other side, when you start dropping games to teams who are struggling, like Port have been really struggling this season, it hurts the ego. It's you start getting salty and bitter and
Bitter.
really disappointed.
Yeah, well, Tails, it feels like Doss never thinks the D's should lose.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I went out with the great man on Saturday night and we were at the Richmond Club Hotel. We were enjoying a few
Beverages?
few weekend cordials and
Beer.
and a lovely lady by the name of Claire came and introduced herself and said, "Guys, I'm a Mad Demons fan," and that pricked his ears up beautifully. And for about 30 minutes, I was the fly on the wall for a Demons chat that made me believe, fuck, Demons are.
It should have been recorded.
The D's are gonna make the top 8, and yeah, I mean, 24 hours later, we're sitting here scratching our heads thinking, what on earth
does
happened?
Claire get a guest spot on the debrief?
She should. She was good content.
Yeah.
I was honestly, I don't know. You lose, I don't want to sound salty, but there's no other way I can summarise that loss besides we lost to a team that have been shit this season, that don't have a coach, and
No, they got too many coaches. They got two.
They had a guy in trackies running around, and we just couldn't get it done. That just shows where we're at, probably.
And then you got Gorney. He's kind of a coach. He's a leader. He's your third, fourth coach.
Yeah,
sort of
he's a
thing.
gun. He's a freak.
Plenty to speak about. We're going to talk about the Kozzy contracts a bit later on.
The bye's still happening for another 2 weeks, and that's another thing we need to touch on. Why the fuck is the bye 5 weeks?
Yeah, the bye sucks.
There was a week where there was 2 teams that had the bye, and now there's a week where 4 fucking teams have the bye.
Do you reckon you'd be happier doing 2 weeks with 9 teams just having the bye?
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off, get everyone their buys straight away, and then it gives more opportunity for, like, if it's 9 teams having the bye, means some of those 9 teams can go mingle and
We'd have to do 10 and 8.
go to Wet and
It'd have to be
Wild.
10
Yeah.
and 8. No, you're right.
I'd
Yeah.
be much happier with that.
Just get it out. Get it out of the way.
But then I reckon teams had the bye in like round 3 and 4 and stuff from opening round. So it's just been, we haven't had full weeks of footy. It kills the season.
It's been a big clusterfuck, hasn't it?
Shit.
Football, but fuck, Andrew, come on, look at yourself in the mirror.
Oh, he's too busy down at Moggs Creek having
You haven't
pot to palmy.
cup of teas with
Yeah.
Beryl Smith at Belbra in Belbra.
Stop having catch-ups with Bailey Smith. We know he's cool. We all want to hang out with him. I'd
Can-
love to be there.
can
Having
we
a
just-
kumbaya.
Can we just quickly on the whole Bailey Smith? Why are we saying it's a 1 week hamstring? No one but me has 1 week hamstring.
Because Geelong protect their players, Will. They
It's-
protect the crop.
It's Geelong protect the crop. Fucking the AFL was protecting the crop. They were like, we'll call it a 1 week hamstring, so then Andrew can slide on down to Belbra
A
and
little Chardonnay.
have a few Milos and Chocky Bickies with Belbra with Bailey. Because do you reckon Andrew Dillon's telling people that he's going down to have a meeting with?
Mate, I don't know what Andrew Dillon's telling people.
I 100% reckon it's Baz Smith going a cheeky text message. Hey, yo, Andrew Dillon's at my house.
The
LMFAO.
boys, they're actually hanging out all the time. All right, so mid-season power rankings. We're going to grade all the teams. We're not going to go into depth on really why, but we'll talk about it. But we're just going to do, A, B, C, D, E.
How about we just do A, B, C, and F?
All right,
Like school.
fuck me. I don't care.
Keep
Shit
it nice
idea
and
anyway.
simple.
So we're doing A, B, C, and F. How's that work?
What about D?
So A
Where
plus.
did D go?
So A plus.
What's the D, man?
Plus and D.
So like the A plus to the A minus range.
Let's just like a report card.
So A, B, C, D. No F.
A, B, C, D, F.
F
Where's
is
E?
like F is your no.
There's no E
You
on a
don't
report
get
card.
E in fucking school
For
grades.
excellent.
No, it's not.
E for excellent.
High distinction.
You guys have never failed a fucking test before.
All right, A, B, C, D, F.
Vlogs.
A, B, C, D, F. Taz, you got the ladder up there. We'll go from top down.
The Magaloofs, the Pies.
Yeah, well, they're doing pretty good, aren't they?
A plus.
I'd say an A minus.
Collingwood are an A minus because, well, we knew they were going to be there.
I don't think they've been perfect, but they've been really good. I probably should have just left them at an A, but I wanted to just give them a little clip.
Okay.
I
Collingwood
like
A minus.
it. I agree.
What could they do to?
Do we all have different ones, or are we?
No, we're deciding
okay.
together,
Well,
man.
right.
It's a conjoined effort to find the rankings and put them how we need to put them
Alright,
into our school report card. So Collingwood are an A minus. Are we saying? Are you happy with that?
To leave
William?
some wriggle room. They haven't been perfect. Flogged by GWS.
Been pretty good.
Yeah.
Really good, but
I'd almost go an A because their points against is by far pantsing every other team other than the Gold Coast Suns.
Have they got a 2-game gap?
A 1 game gap.
Okay.
So they're 44
But they played
points,
one
whereas
less game.
Geelong are 40 points.
And they're one less game.
1 less game.
That's incredible.
One less lonely girl.
When you think about it, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been good.
Top of the ladder, clear by a game, and they are a game to
Did
short.
they lose to GWS?
Must have been.
It was GWS
opening round.
one,
They got rolled by heaps.
And then
Geelong, right?
they lost to the Catters.
Well, I believe the Catters are A at least. And if the Pies are A minus, then the Cats have to be A minus.
I think Bailey Smith has exceeded expectations.
Not a
that-
one man show, Will. Not a one man show. Team sport.
And you didn't let me finish my sentence, which was going to be. So that's why I think they should be an A, because after they've lost all their gun old players, they're still sitting well above the rest of the competition.
Geelong A, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
A.
Because Geelong look that good. They look seriously scary. And they're going to do it for another 5 years. And they're going to get Matt Rao.
They look
Yep.
scary when the
And Harley
umpires
Reid.
are on their side, eh? It's fucking good football when that happens.
All right, Geelong are an A, Collingwood are an A minus. Who's up next, Will?
Brisbane.
Brisbane.
The Brisbane Lions. That's a peculiar one.
Is it
hey?
almost a C because we've got high expectations? They've just won the flag. They started really well, but that last sort of 5 or 6 weeks, they've been a bit up and down.
Well, if they're third,
I'd almost go B minus.
yeah, I'd almost go B minus
Wow,
too.
I like it. Yeah.
Because I like you thinking like we did expect more from them, but they haven't shut the bed. Like 9-4.
Yeah, haven't shut the bed.
1 draw. Like they're still doing reasonably well.
I think they just got to figure out their forward line. That's once they do that. I mean, with Joey gone, that's hard to do. But once they figure out that forward line, if Kyle Lama,
They just lost Jack Payne as well.
oh, that is serious.
back line.
That sucks.
Oh, I get the feeling they're going to fade out of the season.
That's a
I get the
Jack
feeling it's
pain
like
in the ass.
yeah, pain in his
Is
knee.
there?
I get the feeling it's like they are gonna fatigue late. I wouldn't be. I won't say that.
I could say.
Have
I
you?
could say it.
Are you saying the horses bolted before the? Before
I just
the
feel like
final
they've
straight.
they've gallantly tried to defend the flag, and just the weight and the fatigue of that is starting to take its toll.
So if Joey Danaher was still there, you'd be saying different things.
Nah, I never
Really?
rated Joe
I
Danaher.
think
Really?
I don't think Joey Danaher holds up the whole team.
I reckon he holds that forward line up
Eric
a lot.
Kipwood can do a job, and so can Logan Morris.
Yeah, they're not Joe Danaher though.
Joe Danaher, Joe Schmanaher. What? He fucking didn't have a TV in his lounge room. What makes him so special?
He lived in Byron Bay,
Good
mate.
player. Good.
What makes him so special?
Trained once a week.
Good football player. Next up.
We got the Hawthorn Hawks.
Oh yeah. Are they a B minus job too,
Yeah.
or are they an A minus or a B plus? Because they, I reckon the chatters.
I'd almost say I'd say a B, but I like their expectation for me was they were going to be top 4.
Yeah.
And now they're 5th, so they're not completely out of the picture.
Haven't had the greatest month,
I mean, they did pip Adelaide in Tassie.
and Crom looked that good. I'm loving what the Crom are doing at the moment. So, what about a
A B. I'd give
A
them
B?
a solid B.
Melissa liked me on Hinge?
Big expectations on them before the year to be top 4. I guess they're only a game out. Yeah, B.
B's okay.
Gold Coast
I'm going to go
at
A.
6.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Gold Coast A because they are 2 games behind on some teams on the ladder because they didn't have the game against Essendon. So for the rest of the season, they'll be a game behind everyone. And they've had the bye or haven't had the bye or whatever. So they're only on 12 games when a team like Geelong are on 14. But yeah, I reckon the Suns are sneakily, they could finish top 4 once
Gold
all the
Coast
games.
have had the bye.
You know, as well, they have the second least amount of points against. And yes, that is because they've played 12 games, in fairness, but it's just a little stat for
So
you.
do we want to put Gold
I want
Coast?
to say A.
I
so
want
that-
to say A.
I want to say A minus and him.
Oh yeah, good call.
Because Collingwood looking pretty damn good, top of the ladder with a game in pocket, and they're an A minus.
Nah, they're the Pies though.
Fair enough. Gold Coast.
Nah, we got to bring the Pies down.
Well, it's like, yeah, Dimmer's taken no time to really fix this squad. And
Who
just-
has more resources, Dimmer or Craig McRae?
Wow, Craig McRae's got the blueprint in front of him, and he's
They
got it
play
all.
the MCG every week. Dimmer's travelling every second week.
Dimmer and his New Balance Pandas or whatever he is.
Fucking hate Marvel. We hate this joint. All right, no, I can get behind Gold Coast A.
Thanks, mate.
I like it. Next one.
We have got
GWS.
yeah,
C.
GWS.
Yeah.
They've been a bit shit.
Yeah.
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 Thought they were gonna be.
Did they just beat Brisbane at the Gabba though? That's a pretty good win.
That's a great win.
But they have been shit. They lost to Port, and Port are shit.
They lost to Port in Canberra.
Yeah.
They did beat Brisbane. Didn't actually know that game existed this week.
Let's make an executive decision. Giants are shit.
Yeah, they have been shit.
So they're going C. Do we chuck them a plus?
No pluses.
C. A C. No, I'd give them a C plus because they are expected to make the 8. I reckon we'd be giving them a C or a C minus if they dropped out of
Yeah, we got to give them a C plus, Dossel.
the 8.
Okay.
Freo. Now,
It's nearly munted.
I don't know about you, McDonald, but I can't stand the Dockers.
No, no one can.
I do. I like them.
I've always loved them, but no one can stand the Dockers these days.
Can we give
It's,
them a C plus?
The Dockers.
Well, they're in the 8.
Well, the
They're in the
Dockers,
eight.
So-
like a lot of people tip them for the top 4, and they've been well below that level this season.
I tipped them for the flag.
A lot of people did, so they've underachieved again,
They have.
So
unless
do
they
we-
get cooking.
So
do
do
we
we
go
just give them a
C?
C no plus? C no plus.
Yeah, see,
C no plus?
yeah.
All right. Next up, Will.
The Doggies.
Kind of good.
Oh, they look good every now
But
and
we-
again. They do. They look like a formidable force.
But we just plateau a lot.
You know, it's a funny stat, and I'm going to get the stat wrong, but it's something like the Bulldogs always flog the bottom 6 teams by 10 goals. Like they just have their way with the bottom 6 teams.
The Doggies know how to put the foot on the throat, which Carlton don't know how to do, but the Doggies know how to do it.
And neither do the Wattle Park Animals. We can't kick a fucking score, boys. More about that later. The Doggies.
But the Dogs have lost, just a few games that we shouldn't have lost.
Didn't have Bont for
But
6
actually,
weeks.
I was going to say, that injury list going into the first couple of games, I didn't think they'd win the first 5 because they had like 6 of their best players out. So
Yeah.
they probably overachieved what we thought prior to round 1. So I'm going to give them a B.
Do we throw the Dogs a bone and give them a B minus?
A big bony B.
Well, Hawks a B.
Big bone.
Yeah, I reckon with the resources and what Bevo had at his disposal, I'd give him a B.
I don't like being this kind to them, but we'll give the Bulldogs a big old B.
Carlton.
Oh,
D.
yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
I'd almost invent the D category for Carlton.
Yeah, they're our first D.
They failed. They've been failing.
Yeah, they've been shit.
They always
fact-
have injuries. But it's like for
Get-
7 years in a row.
Get over it.
It's for 7 years in a row.
Get over it. Get healthy.
Do you hear Essendon complaining? Do you hear the Doggies complaining? Do you hear the Swans?
Do you hear the Saints?
The Swans have been complaining actually, but
Bassett.
But-
Carlton D. Happy with that.
yeah, just to stay on Carlton, only beating West Coast by 34 points is am I
Well, it could have been like
am I bad in saying that's outrageous?
No, you need to be better.
Like
Blues.
what 12-14? What are we doing down at Icon Park? Just quietly.
I don't know. They got some pretty nice recovery in areas in there. They could probably spend a
great
little
facilities.
bit of time through that area. Next up,
Port Adelaide.
D.
D. They've been bad.
Port Adelaide.
They have been bad.
From a team that was like convincingly making the 8 last year to 6 and 7, sitting 11th.
And you've got so much talent, and you can't work it out.
Their artillery is
Like,
fucked.
do you want more talent, guys? Do you want more
Well,
talent?
I think they would say yes.
Well, you've got rid of Houston. You
For a
got rid
bag
of
of
Dougal
chips.
Howard.
Now, the reason I was so salty on the weekend was because that 22 that they put out on the park against Melbourne, it was one of the weakest Port Adelaide sides I've seen in a long, long time. And they still got the job done. So fair play to them.
Yeah.
But just on paper, like there was a lot of names that I'd never heard of. There was a lot of names missing, like even some of their new players, like the Koshis and whatnot, weren't playing.
Just quietly, what the fuck's Lukosius done this year? Great player.
Injured,
Love
I
what he's
think.
done
I think
Been
been injured.
violently injured.
for a lot of the year.
Oh, sure, yeah.
My
Where
bad.
was like Kane Farrell?
Sorry,
Oh,
Jake.
he might have played actually.
He was off the halfback.
Yeah, probably doubt us up actually.
Next up.
Next up, we have the Bombers.
Oh,
You know what? B plus. For
I
the
reckon they've been really shit.
for what they've and now hear me out. Hear me out.
I fucking hate the Dons.
They've got half of their list in the bin. They can only play with half of the
True,
list.
they have lost a lot of
And-
injuries.
Apart from playing against Geelong on the weekend, they've been extremely competitive.
They lost to Carlton.
They probably punch.
Without half of their list, baby.
That's not my problem.
I'm saying they could have absolutely put the queue in the rack this year and been right down the bottom of the ladder with Wet Toast and fucking Richmond.
See, I would argue they are near. You beat West Coast by 2. What else have the Dons done? Where
Oh,
are
they
we?
beat the D's.
You
which is
beat.
good.
You fucking lost to Collingwood by 40. You've had a couple that are horror. You beat the North Melbourne. You beat the Kangas by 3.
I'd say they have done better than. Like, they have been competitive in a lot of games with the injury list, but I'd give them a D.
The Dogs thrashed them
They
by
also
90.
pumped the D's, so that's saying.
Well,
a
that's
fair
great
bit.
for me because I hate yous.
They also beat Port Adelaide.
Sorry, but a B plus is
Port
outrageous.
and the D's are shit.
I can cop a C plus.
I'm sticking fat
I'm
with a
going
B
D.
plus. I'm sticking fat with a B
All right,
plus.
we'll go C plus then.
maybe Zach Merritt gets the B plus, and then
Yeah.
the rest of the club gets. We've got our producing team is giving them the F, but
Yeah.
Next up,
off topic. Why the fuck does everyone hate Essendon?
because they're shit.
They're a big club.
So why doesn't everyone hate St Kilda?
Because
They're like a
good.
minnow. Like, they don't really bother anyone. But
How are they good? What are you're telling me what they put on the park on the weekend
We
was
got
good?
Dougal Howard.
Essendon are like a big, arrogant club that hasn't achieved anything for 20 years, but they still embody this like arrogance, and they can't let go of the fact that they're bad. And it's almost like that ego has stopped them from reinvesting in themselves. They sort of often, a team like Carlton or Essendon will go, we won 16 flags, but they don't put in the work now to win the 17th, and that's how a lot of people see the Bombers.
They got Will Setterfield playing minutes.
He's good.
I'm
man.
not having Will Setterfield slander.
Yeah, I like him.
I'm not having.
We're
Will
about
I'm sure he's a
Setterfield
great
slander.
We're about
guy.
to voice message him.
Sorry, I'm sure he's a legend ripper bloke. Like, but he doesn't play footy. Next up.
So what the fuck does he do?
I don't
No, he
know.
just gets around the boys from around.
I can't stand behind that.
I'm
Setters
not
is a good man.
standing. That's your opinion out in the open, mate.
That's your opinion.
That's
The
disgusting.
Swans.
That's foul.
The Swannies.
F.
Swans. F. Massive F.
They played in a granny man, and Dean Cox made them do two-kilometre time trials for a laugh, and look what it's done.
Swans F. No complaints. Next.
Massive F.
Oh, but they've had injuries. If we want to go down the injury,
I-
F them up.
Mate, they've had injuries, but they've had players come back and they just still suck.
They are shit.
They're putrid.
And you got such a good list. Like, fucking figure it out. Next.
St
Saints.
Kilda.
C. The Saints
Yeah.
are young.
C minus.
Yeah.
C
C.
minus.
Uh,
C minus.
C, they beat Geelong, so I don't mind that.
Yeah.
C minus.
Nah, C.
C.
The Nam Football Club,
D.
the D's.
Yeah. D.
Big fat D.
D. Unfortunately. Yeah, they're a fucking D.
Yeah.
Are you going to be kinder or meaner?
I was going to be kinder.
You had a good patch. If you'd won the last two, you'd be like a C plus.
Yeah.
I was going to be kinder, but you're 7% above North Melbourne. If we're talking percentage. So, so D's probably really good there. 16th, North Melbourne.
Oh, well, they've been unbelievable.
Hey.
I'd say
See?
I expected them to win 5 to 6 games this year. They've been extremely close in a lot of games and just struggled to finish.
C plus.
C.
No,
C then.
I'd say C plus. I'd say C plus.
you can't.
So what? So give us something, mate. What? You can't just sit here and fucking. You can't.
I'll give him
us an answer.
C
Get into him.
minus.
Get into him, Tails.
No, that's fucking shit out.
Get into him, Tails.
Get off the fence or fucking.
So
or
what
make
did you
it
say? What did you say?
I said
C
C.
plus.
You said
plus.
C?
Yeah.
You say C or C plus?
I can't remember.
He said C plus.
Go to the tape.
Run the tape back out. He
guess
said
it's-
C plus.
That's bullshit, but like, we'll go C plus. Sure. Next one?
Richmond B plus.
B plus for sure.
B plus.
Yeah, they're over Hawthorn for me.
B plus because I didn't expect them to beat many teams.
They should have beaten the Roos as well.
Yeah, should have beat the Roos.
Yeah, that was bad.
B
Should have
plus.
beat the Roos.
B plus for the Tigs. Next one?
B plus for the Tigs. Well, last one is wet toast.
F.
Yeah. So the Swans and West Coast are down there.
Yep.
F.
Just like the 2006 granny.
So, all done. Let's just quickly run through what we've got in our A slots.
I'm glad you wrote it down.
Geelong and Gold Coast are
Yeah.
our 2 A sides.
Yeah.
Great.
Agreed.
And then Collingwood are our A minus.
Yep.
B plus is Richmond. Hawthorn. So it goes Geelong, Gold Coast, Collingwood, Richmond.
Yeah, that's good.
It does make sense though. in
Then
my head.
Hawthorn and Bulldogs are both Bs. And Brisbane are a B minus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Happy?
Yeah.
Really happy. Fuck.
Very happy.
C plus, GWS, and North.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
And Essendon. And the Dons. And then C, Freo, and the Saints are a C minus. That's awesome. D, Carlton, Port, and the D's.
That makes so much sense in my head, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
The
If I
lower we
if
go.
I was a teacher, like giving out the half year reports, I would be very happy with that. The parents wouldn't be, but I'd be stoked.
And in F, Swans and West Coast. Which, yeah, I reckon the lower we got, the higher we flew
Yeah.
just then, to be fair.
And the two bird teams flew extremely high then.
Flying away. Let's get into the round review. Fuck that right off.
Whoa.
That was great fun, though.
That was fun.
Tails, in the space of 8 weeks, the Dogs have pumped the Saints twice.
Yeah.
For now, like a combined margin of 160 points or something. Did you watch the game? I was there. I left at 3/4 time because I'm a good fan and I'm a lover of the sport. Actually, the train was packed at 3/4 time. It was quite
That's funny.
concerning. What did you take out of that, Tails?
Yeah, I had it on the background while we absolutely flogged us. A good 72-point hiding, which, I mean, Sam Darcy back in the side. How fucking good's footy?
So good.
It's so good to see him back out there again. Lots of boys getting involved. I'm pretty sure there was 6 blokes with 20 plus touches in the Doggies team, which is good when we're sharing the ball and it's nice and effective.
Tell you who else was hiding? Marcus Bontempelli. The
Yeah,
bloke
mate,
had
he just
14
took-
touches.
He just took a back seat. He went out there to do running patterns.
Not a leader's game, though.
You don't need to when Sam Darcy, Aaron Norton, Buku Khamis,
Oh,
Riley
just pick up the
Sanders,
slack, mate. It doesn't matter who
Tim
you're playing.
English are just tearing
Ed
up
Richards.
the Sandy Zebras. So it's it's good fun.
Anyway, we copped a 72-point hiding. Nazar won't get in. Malira was very good. Missed a couple of kicks early. But his contracts and Caro are in the news and it's getting warm.
He has to be going.
Yeah.
We're into the back half of the season. What are you waiting for?
But you'd love...
Do you
Like,
think he's waiting for TDK or like what's he waiting for?
if he's waiting for TDK, then that's concerning.
Like to
because-
work out the money, like if you're
Oh, but
staying,
all-
if you're staying, you signed 10 weeks ago.
Well, you don't want to go to Port, realistically. You don't want to go there.
But his best mates are at Port.
I'm sure they're great fellas. but-
Hypothetical. Would you rather move to you're moving to the same city, but would you rather move to a shit team with your best mates or a good team without your best
I
mates?
want to win,
Fair
to be
call.
honest.
In this circumstance,
Me, you and Baz.
I really like Port Adelaide, just as a club.
Yeah. Good colours.
They've
Play
been
with Sweetie.
they've been kind to me. Shout out their physio team as well for
Looking after your ankle.
hooking me up with a new ankle.
Gee, some of the Dogs played blinders. Bailey Dale backed it up with 36. Matt Kennedy, who we speak about regularly, had 29 and 2.
He could
Blinders.
almost win their BNF.
Blinders, mate, that's week in, week out. Those blokes.
Yeah, these guys have been good. And Treloar, after looking like he couldn't really move last week, came out, kicked a goal and had 28 of his own. So, yeah, Tails, the disposal count was well and truly won by the Doggies. I just don't know what the Saints need to do, man. I don't know. Do we need Kingy back? Like,
He got injured again, didn't he?
Yeah.
Across the weekend.
yes, he did. So he's been re-injured 3 times this year.
Oh, that's good.
So the SNC's under fire. And the Saints are in real trouble. Kozzy Pickett, about to receive the biggest pay packet we've ever seen from a demon.
Jeez, we've jumped fucking weeks here to... Oh, yep, the Melbourne game. Sorry, I thought we were doing the round review, mate.
I am, mate. But in the round review is not just games, brother. Kozzy Pickett has just signed a $1.6 million a year deal.
Okay.
And we've been speaking all year. I've been a big proponent of he's going to Freo. I reckon you almost conceded to the fact that he was going to Freo. Does this change the whole future of the Melbourne Football Club and your whole direction of your side?
Yeah, it does. I think retaining players like that definitely does.
Can you still get Luke Jackson?
I think we can.
How? Who do you give? What do you give?
I'm
Your
not
future.
prepared to say on camera, but I think we will have to give something. I think one of the midfielders will be gone.
I mean, so Clary.
I don't know.
And Clary's going to Freo.
I don't know about Freo, but I feel like we're going to have to... That midfield's frustrating at the moment. Clary, Track, Viney, they're all... And we've said this for years, and it worked for a little bit there, but they're just bullocking balls. And it feels like when Kozzy and Rivers are in there, we get a different look. So, yeah, I don't know. There was some people knocking the Kozzy deal. I think there's some football fans that think that he's just a run-of-the-mill small forward.
No, I'm not
like
knocking it
a
at all.
Motlop or a Higgins who are really good small forwards. But this is a guy who jumps on heads like Liam Ryan, but then goes through the midfield and impacts like a genuine mid. And I think he'll be playing midfield for the next part of his career. So
We put it in the group chat saying different players are valued differently at different sides, and Kozzy Pickett is probably definitely worth that at the D's. And
Well-
to keep him at this point of where the side's at.
yeah. And even on the weekend, like before the power went after him, some of the goals he kicked were ridiculous. And they were from stoppages. It's crazy. He's a crazy talent.
Do you have any WA players on lists?
Our whole list is WA.
So who would go? Who could get traded back and say yes to that?
No, well, to get Luke Jackson in, you don't have to trade to Freo. So like we could trade an asset to someone else, get picks in from that trade, and then give it to Freo. So there's so many. I still think the Luke Jackson to the D's is still a sniff. I think it's I wouldn't bet that it is going to happen, but I don't think it's dead just yet.
Watch this space.
Yeah.
The Catters.
Send Cade Chandler back.
Nah, we like Cade.
Well, he's
Would you give Van Rooyen up for Luke Jackson?
No. Unless he wants to play full-time forward.
Mate, if I was the D's getting Luke Jackson,
I
I'd
would.
say, mate, Jacob Van Rooyen, pack your bags, mate. You are
No.
You're never coming back to
No. Would you?
to Gosh's. I'll be very careful with your
I
words
love
here.
Roo. But
Never for a bloke that left your side.
yeah, good call. Good call.
Keep it in-house.
Yeah.
Keep it in the family.
Heartbeat's true, apparently.
The Catters are just not slowing down. They look so fucking good, and I hate to say it. Baz Smith is our ball magnet of the week. I think it's his second time doing it. He's racking up the pill in 2025. The man had 41 this week, so shout out to Baz Smith. But geez, the Cats.
Shout out to 1 week hamstrings. Yeah. be aware, guys.
They had some awareness. Yeah, he had awareness.
Tails, you've had a 2 or 3 weeker.
I've had a 1 week. I've had a 1 weeker. Did a hamstring, played the next week, and then had a week off and played the next. So
Geelong
been there.
Geelong always do this to the Bombers. And in the lead up, Brad Scott was like, he got asked the question, what's it like coaching against your brother? And he said, oh, no, I don't have to plan against my brother. Like, I'll just plan for the team. Start planning against your brother, mate, because every time you play the Cats, he does this to you. And it must be embarrassing at Christmas. and you're getting worse presents, and you're sitting at the kids' table at the family dinners because Chris is just doing it's a humiliation ritual every time you play your brother. So sort that out.
Yeah,
Couldn't agree more.
Is there some family conflict? Is there some fiery DMs?
Yeah, well, whatever's happening.
Well, Brad Scott's not getting Morris financing deals under the table like Chris is. So maybe Chris is buying better presents as well, and Brad's just getting why can't you be more like your brother?
Man, I want to know the family dynamics of like their sons and who's the fucking cool uncle. I want to know that shit. Dossie, why are you wearing Western Bulldogs socks, man? Raise them up for the cam.
Big Bob Murphy, man. Obviously does Brekkie Radio on the ABC. And
doesn't wake up for it.
And the dogs are firing, so.
Good man.
Up and about for Bob. Can I have your medal?
Don't you reckon that looks like their old Clash kit that they used to have?
That looks good. It looks like the 08 dogs.
Like the white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott White, West.
I can never leave the house unless I have a bit of red and blue on me, so.
Blue. Got the red IAA bottles. Pace of the week. Now, you boys last night, not last night, 2 nights ago, went down to Port Melbourne to watch the Casey Demons and Kalani White, which, Dossie, I believe, is your piece of the week we spoke about briefly.
No, it's not. Nah, I'm joking. It is. It was a good lead in,
got
and I
me,
just
you
wanted
fucking
to
little
double dribble you.
bastard.
Kalani White, obviously a prospect father-son. In any other situation, he would be a father-son, but because he grew up on the Gold Coast, their academy has access to him equally as Melbourne do for the father-son. So it's up to wherever Kalani decides to go. He's still a super raw talent, but playing against men for the first time, kicked 2 goals too. He's not even we're not sure if he's a forward, a backman, or a ruckman yet. So super raw, but played really well, and it was good to see. And we went down with the Marmalade boys, me and Tails, and we had the signs saying Kalani White Fan Club, and he was getting around it. And then his old man, Jeff White, who played for the Dees, was DMing us getting around it as well.
Was he?
Yeah, which got me pumped because I used to love watching Jeff.
He's one of your faves,
Yeah,
isn't
Jeff run around. So, Kalani, he's tracking quite well. I don't think he's a top 10, top 20 prospect, but the athleticism and the height and the size, once he fills out that body, he should be a player.
Tails, who were some of the other blokes? There was, on both lists, some quite good players playing.
Dill Shield was taking a piss.
It was a great game. Elijah Sardis, Dill Shield.
Benny Hobbs was playing well.
Liam McMahon, who's just recently signed with Essendon, kicked a bag himself. Riley Bonner, of course.
Yeah.
My favourite down at Casey. He was doing heaps. Marty Hoare, he was there.
Ex-St. Meters Dane Merchant, Riley Bonner.
Mate, he gets 40 every week for Casey. It's ridiculous.
He cruises across the ground. And I don't want this to become a VFL Corner podcast, but
yeah, you do. You do a little bit though.
All day.
You do a little bit though,
Riley Bonner
Tails.
just floating above ETU Stadium. But we were getting around this one. I'll give a little shout out to Lockie Monteith, who got called up for his first game. Had 28, a goal, and 20 something hitouts as a debutant, and he was getting everywhere. And his goal he kicked was a dead-eye dick from the pocket, drop punt.
Taylor Special.
Yeah, Taylor Special.
All his mates behind us were just yelling out to him, just like getting into him. It was his first VFL game. And then at one stage, he had severe crippling groin cramp to a point where he had to walk off as if he'd like chafed his legs at the beach, and he's like hobbling off, and his mates were laughing so hard behind us, and we were like, they just start, and then we were like, oh, is that your mate? And we were chatting to him. It was so funny. He was a gun though.
Your shout out of the week's Kalani White though.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Shout out, well done. Not shout out, piece of the week.
Piece of the week.
Tails, you got one for me, brother, my friend, my brother, my housemate.
Yeah, mate, I've got one, and Dossie, you might want to block your ears for this one because it's a Port Adelaide man. It's the young boy Mitch Georgiades.
Oh, I love that guy. Sometimes
he was 18 disposals, 7 goals, 4, 10 marks.
That's outrageous.
He was doing heaps. 97% time on ground and 430 metres gained for a key forward. So Mitch Georgiades was doing heaps of clunking. Not a lot of second efforts, like he told me. He hates doing second efforts, so he made all of his marks count. So well done to Mitchie.
Well, shortly we'll send Mitchy Georgiades a quick voicemail. Boys, what's it like kicking 7 goals? I don't know what it's like.
Neither do I.
Oh, well,
it's
Dossie, what's it
kick
like,
five.
brother?
I'd never done it until last season, and it's great. Feels good.
Well, I can't do that on a football field, but what I can do is a 720 no scope.
That was great.
Did you like that?
Yeah, because when you sat in the hole and took the mark, I thought fair play, Baz. But I had heard touched off the boot. And then when they called it late, I'm like, well, that's a stitch up because you're going to get drilled. And then you got around the first bloke, and I'm like, oh, that was unbelievable, but he's going to get flattened now. And then you got around the second, I was like, oh, thank goodness.
It was a weird one. I'll never pull that move out ever again. It was just instinct.
Yeah.
Not skill.
It was sick.
It was not skill, pure instinct.
I don't think my groins have that. I don't think I can actually twist that quickly.
I reckon that's what actually popped mine after the game.
It would have been. That technique is like not good on the groins.
Well, my piece of the week was something that followed after. As soon as our address was done, I went straight to the canteen at South Melbourne. And what I struggle with sometimes, boys, is occasionally we are the last game at a ground for the day. And when that happens, and usually it's the seniors, the canteen's shut and you can't get a snack. But I got out of there and they were still open, waiting, and I got the last hot dog of the day. So my piece of the week is the canteen hot dog I got down at South Melbourne, and I've put in brackets here, open till after the last game.
Great.
So go on.
Absolutely.
Just a soggy hot dog sitting in the broth all day,
So good.
falling apart.
I was very flat because I was the next customer after and tried to get a hot dog, and the lady said no. The other guy took it.
No hot dogs. Tails, let's send Mitch Georgiades a quick piece of our mind. Eh?
Yeah, let's get him done.
And let's not mention the umpires that helped him.
No, we've got to give him the full credit, bro.
You fucking little
That's
cheeky
salty.
bastard.
That's bad sportsmanship, McDonald. No, he was really good, but there was one that I was seething.
Just maybe let me do the talking
all right,
here,
all right.
McDonald. You can chime in and say what you want.
Say
again.
something. You never say something. I need you to say something.
I'll say something to him.
Let him know that we love him.
G'day, Mitchie. We'll be here, mate. Just wanting to say massive congrats on the demolition job you did on the Dees on the weekend. The big 7 goals for, mate. You absolutely showed me what it is to be a key forward, and not many second efforts like you said back in Gather Round, which is good. You're a man of your word, but just wanted to say you are the piece of the week on the Ball Magnets podcast. We love what you did on the weekend.
We love your piece, Mitch.
Love your pace, Mitchie. You were good. 7 goals. Good to see the pairs get up. Love what you're doing, mate, and all the best for the rest of the season.
Well done, Mitch. Dossie here. Really flat about it, actually. Like, you were good. Just a bit flat about the result, but you're a star, and keep kicking them, mate.
Dossie's Dees fans, by the way, Mitchie, but well done, mate.
Our shout on the Balfours, next Balfours.
Well done.
See you, Billies.
Well done, Mitch. Well done, brother. 7 goals.
Good stuff.
Undeniable.
Undeniably
I wish you kicked 10.
the best.
All right, well done, Mitchy Georgiades. You're undeniable, brother. That is freakish. 7 snags. I'll never do that in my life. I've got a little hypothetical, boys, and we've taken a little bit of a break of the hypothetical. Tells you got something in your hands that we'll get onto in just a moment. But who would win if a team full of Max Gawns and a team full of Nick Watsons played a game against each other?
That is crazy. That is crazy. Because in the ruck, Max Gorn could grab it. And supposedly,
I think in the midfield, I reckon Gorney's winning everything.
the second it hits the deck, it's game over. Nick Watson is
Yeah, I've
kicking a
never
goal.
seen Gorney chase down tackle anyone.
Especially Nick Watson. He's one of the most agile players. And anytime he goes to tackle, he'd give away a high free kick. He literally couldn't get down that small to tackle.
Yeah.
So it's like if Gorney grabbed it out the ruck and just like handballed it over the top, maybe Gorney would have the advantage, but the second it hits the deck, it's game over.
And what about numbers to the contest?
Imagine from a kick out, Gorney takes the kick out. Do you think there's... But Nick Watson can sit on heads. Oh. Who actually wins that?
I'd say Gorney. I think Gorney's too complete of a player.
Yeah, because if he just... It's 2 kicks, 3 kicks, and you just get mark.
Do you think there's any way Nick Watson can get it to ground from a marking contest?
Yeah.
If he takes a hanger.
Gee, you have to be good by foot though, Gorney. Better be good by foot, mate.
Yeah, Gorney's got to be the disposal efficiency got to be high, otherwise he's. Yeah.
So are we all
Don't
just
put it across
Are we
goal,
all
Gorney.
just picturing if Gorney keeps it in the air and marks, he's going to score, and if it hits the ground, Watson's going to score?
Literally. A bit silly in the end.
I'm going to
Isn't
say Watto.
Yeah,
I say Watto would win.
tails.
The ball's in dispute enough in an AFL game that I think.
Yeah, I can't back in Gorney to hit it lace out to Gorney every time. So I reckon it could be. Yeah, I say Watto.
I'll say Gorney.
Yeah.
There's been a follow up to Mitch Georgiades' message.
What
Has
has
it got
he's
anything to do
followed
with
up?
me?
What's he said?
No, it's So obviously he first said, "Ha ha ha! Unreal lads, massive honor, laugh cry emoji. Absolutely 0 second efforts. Hard to tackle when the ball's in your hands." Yeah,
Richie,
that's a super goal.
Richie,
Yeah, that's
Wow.
my Taylor time. That's beautiful.
that is unbelievable.
That is good.
That's funny.
Game of his life.
So how do we? What? There's not many people in the world that get to come in at 9 a.m. on a Monday and voice message Mitch Georgiades and get that response
Yeah.
with three.
I reckon we'd be the only one in the world that had that this morning.
Taylor.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Fuck,
You would
I
really
hope
hope
so.
so. But that is another episode of Monday Magnets. What a way to finish it off. Sometimes we go a little bit rogue in these episodes, but I love doing this on a Monday because, you know, we get to catch up with the boys, start your week. You know, Dos might be a little bit hungover, and so he just gets it out of his system, sweats it out of his system. The nerves, you get it out of there.
Oh, it's coming out my pores, and now I'm happy. I'm up and about.
Let's go get a cough drop. Dude,
Absolutely.
what are you feeling? A little skinny latte?
Yeah, skinny latte.
Those
Skinny boy.
pancakes, I can still feel. I haven't really done much moving since 11 p.m. last night, so it's still sitting in there. But thank you so much for tuning in to the Monday Magnets, brought to you by AIA Vitality. What a great company.
Terrific company. Keeps you healthy.
Go the Spurs.
Go the Spurs. All right, thanks so much. Talk to you soon.